to you. It must be 5 o'clock somewhere out there in the East Coast on this beautiful August the 18th. 19th. The month is moving because it's time for another edition of Hardison's Tip. Almost gave you away a day. We don't want that unless you had some bad experiences that you would like to correct. But we are on this Thursday. Hopefully, your week is going strong. This week, like I told everyone, we were concentrating on new sales managers. I received a email from one on Sunday and said you don't spend time on that. It's nice to talk about major account and key account and up and down the street and home sales and automotive sales and retail sales. But what about we as leaders? And I do feel for many of you because you're not getting the proper managerial leadership, the training that you need to be the best of the best. So we were just spending on some of the bigger things that you may run into in your young career. So let's unpack this so you folks can get dressed and get to work. What I would like to talk to today is something that uh, is a stickler to me, watching over the decades of how managers and salespeople interact. So I entitled this one, Help Salespeople Get and Stay on Track. Now, we'll give you the second half of this tomorrow. But if we look at it, person comes from orientation. They come out of the door and it should be this team. I made it. We're all aboard is a good feeling. But now, from the general orientation, that can include all types of people from office workers to finance workers to everybody but sales. But you're a team. You understand what the organization expects from you. Hearing these words initially conjures up visions of train conductors checking their pocket watches while the late arrivals to the chain jump on to the train. And in a perfect world, each new journey would be so simple. We're asking them to come aboard on one destination that's known. For example, can a train derail an arrival? Yes. But for a salesperson joining a new company, too often the invitation to come aboard is where this certainly ends. The path of destinations or sales success is murky. It's not conducive for positive input. Of course, it doesn't have to be that way. I repeat, every small to medium sized company can help their new salespeople travel a clear path to success. Nothing wrong with having a goal and trying to reach it. If they have laid the necessary tracks during a process called onboarding, we should be pretty good. If there is no onboarding, write that down. What would it take to get onboarding at our organization? So, what is onboarding? Onboarding is how can it benefit an organization like salespeople and the rest of the departmental people on how a successful onboarding program is implemented. Onboarding is a process. Some small businesses like yourself do little, if any, onboarding. Others test onboarding as if it's an event or a short term orientation. At its core, however, onboarding is the process through which any new employee comes through. In case of new hire salespeople, yes, you go through that process, but you have another orientation just for sales with that. So we need to get it up to speed. It needs to be upbeat. It needs to be full of fun, all types of things, because they're learning new about the overall of the organization. Outboarding, onboarding doesn't really work that way. They don't understand the culture. They don't understand the flavor. They don't understand what your hierarchies and owners had put together for a year or decades. And we want them to be cognizant of that. Onboarding is taking these proven methods and systematically making them available to the new staff member. Well, that sounds simple enough. So, how can onboarding benefit the company and the salesperson? Why is onboarding so critical? After all, wouldn't truly talented salespeople learn by observing and by doing, eventually putting in their own spin on what it takes to succeed? Perhaps, but not without any unnecessary detours or backtracking. Many sales managers interview the potential salesperson and don't let anyone else in the business to be a part of that interview process. So the person who makes the decision to change their career and come to your organization, now they are waiting for the person that interviewed them to try to find out what's the next step. Managers, if you're going to interview and give out an offer for someone to be part of your team, you know when they go through orientation, have something for them to do. If we can get many of our salespeople to do and have in front of them mentors that will give daily one on ones, I don't care if it's twice a day, but as many times as you can touch that new person. How is it going? How can I assist? What is your roadblock? Where do you see? It will go a long way in the process. So let's try to conduct one on ones. Let's try to conduct more managing by walking around. Because here's the biggest thing in HR. In sales, our vertical, no matter what we're selling, we're still losing too many people in a 90-day stretch. I won't give you the number. You won't think it's real, but it's actually real and happening. But we need to find a way to do this properly, to make sure that we keep that salesperson engaged, feeling good about that career change, and get them motivated to our systems and get them up to speed so they can be successful. Once again, Brian Hardison, President Champion Strategies, with another Hardison's tip for the day. And as always, in parting, you go out, you make it a champion.